Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union and Doodad Dental. Bo Wolf Berman here at the LINC after the preseason opener, a 34-27 victory for the Eagles. And it's one last ride, baby. Welcome to the show, Zach.
Thrilled to be here. Excited for the show.
All right. We're going to be quick tonight. We are not going to drag this out, but I do think we're going to cross midnight just for old time's sake. Okay. Mm-hmm. So buckle in for that. This was Joe Burrow was on the field.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase was on the field, made a nice play. T. Higgins was on the field. And I think it was very clear to everybody in attendance tonight that the best player on the field was Tanner McKee.
That's what stood out in terms of the way he played, and it resonated that it was against the first team defense too, right? And it's similar to Week 18, and that's what I asked Nick Sirianni, I asked Tanner McKee that. I think it matters more. He's not just doing this against someone else's backups, and the way he moved the ball, the decisiveness. What jumps out too is something you've identified really from his rookie year. He puts the ball up for players to make the catch. And he knew where he was going. You know, he said afterwards, Johnny Wilson went up and made a play on the ball. Like, you throw it up and Johnny Wilson makes that a 90-10 play. But I just thought, like, the command with which Tanner McKee played, I don't want to say it blew my mind. It just really jumped out. Like, he is such a good backup quarterback who could legitimately be a starting quarterback on different teams in this league.
So he finishes this game 20 of 25 for 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 135.3 quarterback rating. I don't think he should have played in the third quarter. That was kind of odd to me, but
yeah, they did the same thing with Kenny Pickett in the first preseason game last year. So I think that's kind of their.
You want to see them come out, I guess.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
See how that works. That's fine. Yeah, listen, he was awesome tonight. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who's watched him play. This is his third year now. Of course, he's not going to backslide. He played about as well as he played when he got to start a game last year. And yeah, he's throwing to Johnny Wilson and Darius Cooper, who we will get to,
and Jahan Dotson. Yeah.
And Jahan Dotson. But yeah, I mean, he's really good. Yeah. And yeah, I think he's a top 25 quarterback. And I'm willing to believe that it could be, I don't know, top 16. I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, and to buttress that point, I saw on social media speculation about whether the Eagles are trying to flip him. And look, I would never say never, but I truly believe the Eagles are not looking to trade Tanner McKee at all this year. I mean, next offseason is a different conversation. They had their opportunities if they wanted to in March and April. They chose not to do that. They want McKee on the team right now. So, no, I don't think this was an audition. I don't think like someone's going to blow them away with an offer. I think they want Tanner McKee to be the backup quarterback. And you saw tonight, you saw last year, if something were to happen to Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee can execute this offense efficiently.
Well, yeah, there's a thing going around that's like, oh, man, the Browns are so stupid. Why would they trade for Kenny Pickett when they could have traded for Tanner McKee? Or the Saints, oh, why would you use a second-round pick on Tyler Shuck when you could have traded for Tanner McKee? Guess what? Those teams tried to trade for Tanner McKee. The Eagles had a much higher price tag than those teams were willing to pay because they believe in Tanner McKee as a starting caliber quarterback.
Yes.
And I'm not I think the Eagles price tag was at least a second round pick, if not higher than that. And obviously they're not going to, as you said, they're not going to do it now.
Yeah.
If they were going to do it, if they were blown away,
sure,
they would have done it in March or April so that they could have time to find a competent backup quarterback. They are not going to do it now. As you say, a team with Super Bowl aspirations is not going to just add in some schmo quarterback right now, knowing how much they value the position. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by what I saw tonight.
There we go.
Can you see us? Okay. We were talking about Tanner McKee.
Yeah.
You know what we think about Tanner McKee. It's good to have a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue on the last episode for you, Zach.
Yeah. So as we were saying, Nick Sirianni wasn't going overboard. He was like, yeah, he played well. He's a good player. Like it's pretty clear. It's not like Nick needs to pound the table for this guy. Everyone saw it. Everyone watching at home saw it. I'm sure Cincinnati saw it as well. Tanner McKee is a legit quarterback, and he made those receivers look good too.
And I don't know if we got cut off for this point, but I will repeat it just to say the idea that the Browns or Saints or whoever should have traded for Tanner McKee, they did try to trade for Tanner McKee. The Eagles had a higher price tag because that's how good they think he is. Okay. One of the beautiful things of a preseason game, Zach, is when an under-the-radar player pops. And we talked about how good of a summer, especially lately, undrafted rookie from Tarleton State, Darius Cooper, had been having. And you want to see, we talked about him and Elijah Cooks coming into this game. You want to see them carry that over. Boy, did Darius Cooper look the part tonight. 6 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown. And this was not just the ball finding him.
Yeah, you're right.
He really looked legit out there. And I think he's on the roster right now. I think he won a roster spot.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Super chat. Sorry, I know I'm going to be looking at that though. I saw the red on the screen. I got excited. Yeah. So
you love the color red?
No. I didn't know what it was, and then I saw the amount. We will get to that. We will get to that. And I had to lift up the chair a little bit. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Like he made plays on the ball. He made high degree of difficulty catches. I thought the touchdown in particular, like he went up and got that.
That was a beautiful throw from Tanner.
Yeah.
The reason, as somebody pointed out, there's a reason they call him third knee McKee.
Okay. Shout
out to Siobhan.
So Cooper, he's 6'1", 210. Like he's put together. You can see that out there. He's quick. You identified that from the jump. And he believes he belongs. Speaking to him afterwards, this is a guy who, Tarleton State, the last game he played, I believe, was against South Dakota, right? And he walks into a locker room, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and yeah, he felt like he belonged. Although his welcome to the NFL moment was in OTAs, he was taking a first team rep with Jalen Hurts, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm out here with Jalen Hurts," and he couldn't quite hear the play, and he had to kind of think about what to do. But if you do that test where, all right, you're just going to the game, you don't know who's from Tarleton State, you don't know who was drafted in the 5th round or 3rd round or 7th round, and you just watch them play, you're like, yeah, that guy belongs on the roster. And Elijah Cooks left this game with an injury, so Elijah Cooks has kind of been like that down the roster as well. But if cut down day was tomorrow, I agree with you. Here we go. Yeah. So Darius Cooper would be
same as it ever was.
Darius Cooper would be on the 53. And by the way, this is not Wi-Fi issues at any of our homes. We're literally in the stadium. We're in the Eagle Stadium.
Technology is coming back to bite you, Zach.
No, they just want us to be together longer, right?
I have a tech.
Yeah. There we go.
Can you see us? Can you hear us? Okay. Here's my technology beef. We had the wonderful Ospreys light. You guys will be able to watch it at 2:00 on Friday here. It was at the wonderful Hard Rock Cafe. We reclaimed it. We took it back. And afterwards, went to go pick up my car from the parking lot. Where like attached to the Pennsylvania Convention Center, the Philadelphia Convention Center. Okay,
that's a rounding. That's a big one, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's all like the whole thing is software. Okay, like there's no way to just like get a ticket and pay and get out. You have to do it on your phone, and the gatekeeper can't even open the gate unless you have like done it through the app. And I did it through the app, and I show him that I had paid through the app, but on his end, it said that I hadn't paid, even though I had been charged. I showed him the receipt, and we are sitting there, Rachel and I, trying to get home for like 20 minutes because he physically can't open the gate without the app saying it. So I got to like call this service, some third party place, and they are able to open it up remotely. how is this making life better for anybody? This is not a thing that needs that we don't need an app for everything. Sometimes the old-fashioned way is just better. Who is that helping?
I mean, we don't need to get
so
into
that they
this,
can just lay off some more people. Like, that's all it is. That's all. Your precious AI, Zach, is all leading us towards this direction where, okay, let's lay off the common man so that Bobby Billionaire can make a couple extra bucks.
Why are you telling me this? Like why? I have nothing to do with the parking garage.
I feel like you were on the side of technology. Oh, this is cool. I can open up the thing with my phone.
I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you.
All right, let's get to the righteous felon beef of the week.
I think that was your beef.
That was my beef.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give the righteous felon beef of the week here, Zach, to the block laid by Tyler Steen that sprung Will Shipley for a big run in the first quarter. Tyler Steen, the only offensive lineman, the starting offensive lineman to play in this game, and really the only starter on offense besides Jahan Dotson, if you count him. Tyler Steen was even a captain for this game, played the first two series, and looked good and laid that block on Will Shipley. Yeah,
good question by you, asking him about being captain. He found out 20 minutes before the game. That was a cool honor. First time since high school or college for him. Yeah, he played well tonight, and he played well against first teamers on Cincinnati. And I mean, you can see the size that the Eagles talk about. I was listening. I had in my ear the Eagles broadcast, and I heard Lane Johnson line interview, and Lane said that Steen's really come on this summer, right? And kind of talked about how he's turned a corner and the size that he plays with. And you saw that in that block, and especially the way Shipley found the space around that right side, gets the big gain. Wouldn't have happened without the right guard play. So we saw what Mekhi Becton did in the run game last year. I'm not saying Tyler Steen's going to be Mekhi Becton. I'm curious to see if Tyler Steen plays again, right? Because he's going to get 2 hard practices against Cleveland this week, and that might be sufficient, right? Like Nick wanted to play some of these guys competing for jobs, or like who aren't like solidified in jobs. But I would imagine in Steen's case, between tonight and assuming things go okay, Wednesday, Thursday, they'll probably have to have seen enough by then.
I would think so. I think you're probably right. So congratulations to Tyler Steen for taking home the righteous felon beef of the week. Okay, but that was the good news. Offense looked good. Now the defense was going up against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and the starting Bengals offense. But I think aside from Darius Cooper, the Eagles player who had the best night tonight was probably Jacorian Bennett.
Okay, yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah, and the reason being Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, neither of them stood out tonight.
That's what I'm teeing you up to.
Yes, okay, yeah. So that's precisely the case. I mean, Keely Ringo let up a touchdown, and Adoree Jackson missed a tackle. And overall, I thought that, you want to see more from them. And you can say, look, they're playing against T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, like you said. But if one of them's the starter this year, they're playing against these types of receivers on Sundays or near it. And Keely Ringo had a good week this week, I thought, but he's been inconsistent in camp early on, at least. Nick Sirianni said they have to look at the entire body of work. It's not just tonight. They've seen Keely play well. But look, there's a reason why the Eagles acquired Jacorian Bennett, and he's someone who has, as we discussed during the week, has starting experience. So I don't want to say like I don't want to say Bennett's gonna be the starter. I haven't seen him play for the Eagles.
No, but yet. I now believe that he has a chance to be the starter.
Sure, yeah, and I'm real curious to see this week against Cleveland, if he mixes into that rotation at all.
Yeah, the Keely Ringo situation. He gave up 2 catches to Jamar Chase. The first one, difficult. Like, you can't really fault him. It is Jamar Chase. It's a back shoulder right on the sideline. Chase barely gets both feet in bounds. Okay, you give the tip of the cap to the better player there. The touchdown, I mean, Keely, it's like it's a little out, and Jamar Chase puts on the brakes, and Keely Ringo comes in and is just not ready for Jamar Chase to turn, and he just runs right past him. Without Ringo even getting a hand on him. That's the kind of stuff that, like, Vic Fangio is not going to want you out there if that's what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah, you're correct about that. And, you want reliability there. When we spoke, the framing that I used before training camp was even par, right? Like you want someone who's not taking away. He doesn't have to be like significant value added, but he's not a detriment. And not to say that he was a detriment tonight, but look, it was not the night that he needed, nor
Keeps putzing out.
There you go. Are we back? Do you hear us?
You are not able to hear them, Zach. So
yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're coming away with a concern tonight, it's that if you were worried about cornerback 2 before this, you're probably worried about cornerback 2 more now.
I would say so.
What about Sidney Brown? What'd you think of him?
I thought he played a lot.
Yeah.
Which maybe was not the best sign. But there were no super glaring errors at first blush.
Here we are.
For now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Okay.
I'm not enjoying the fact that we can't keep our Wi-Fi going.
No, but I'm enjoying doing this with you.
Okay.
So I thought Sidney Brown, he was out there a lot. He was physical. He had the tackle on his brother down at the right sideline, but he did play quite a bit. Spoke to him afterwards in the locker room. Noted like how much different he feels this year than last year. But I don't think like he solidified that job, if you will. I'm curious to see if Makuba mixes in at all this year. Oh, I'm sorry, this week.
What did you make, Zach, of Smile Mondon getting the start
at
linebacker next to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. before Jahad Campbell came into the game later?
Yeah, I was curious about that. And I think it's probably, Jahad was maybe, slowly mixing in at some point. But Smile Mondon's played well this summer too. I don't know if it was the pairing situation, the way they wanted to use one relative to the other. I was talking to a reporter afterwards who was asking me what I thought about that, and like he wanted to get that question to Nick, and I said that's a good question for Vic. Like I think that's an answer Vic gives you as opposed to Nick.
Yeah, I would venture to say that Vic would say that was a reflection of what they did in practice the week before. But then what you saw on the field was Smile Mondon did not have a great game. Missed a couple tackles on that opening drive, one glaring one in particular. And then I thought that when Jahad Campbell came in, you saw the difference in their physicality. There's more stopping power with Jahad Campbell, and he was around the ball. He did miss a tipped up interception that he tried to catch and probably should have caught. But I actually thought that Jahad Campbell looked totally fine. And you could see you could see the heft and physicality of him on the field.
Yeah, and so you mentioned that near interception attempt. Like, look, I don't want to, make too big a deal about the fact that he was there, but to change the direction and like to get under it, for someone at that size, I was at least impressed by that.
Okay, I would also say my other thought on defense for the guys who started this game, to me, by far the best player on the field for the starting defense was Gabe Hall.
He was getting into the backfield. You saw that. He beat the left guard on a third down play. That's one that I have fresh in my mind. You're absolutely right. I mean, Gabe Hall is pushing to make this. Well, I think he's on the team.
He's on the team.
He's on the team. And look, it's similar to Thomas Booker a year ago. This is a guy who was on practice squad who developed last year, and this is a sign of the Eagles' development, and it's like not to pat the Eagles on the back too much, but yeah, when you have a guy who's an undrafted rookie who's on the practice squad his rookie year, and then that next summer you see the strides that he makes one summer to the next, earns a spot on the roster. We might be talking about him as like more of a rotation player next year. The progression jumps out. And I see in the chat with about Ty Robinson, like the D tackle depth is legit. Ty Robinson had a real nice sack, I thought, and he closed well on the play. So between the two of them, if these are your two top reserves at D tackle, that's a good situation.
I think that's fair to say. Okay. Anything you learned from the locker room, Zach, or from Nick Sirianni? Before we go over these super chats.
Yeah, and from Tanner McKee. So just one anecdote, and the Eagles social media team made something of this, I guess, before the game. His Madden rating 61. I think it's lower than Kyle McCord. It's something that
they don't know any ball. Huh?
Yeah, and so like he wanted to prove tonight. He wanted to prove tonight that he's above a 61, and he, I certainly think that he showed that. The two players who left with injuries, Elijah Cooks and Kenyon Green, we'll get more information from that. I mean, the Eagles are back at practice Saturday. They're in the stadium Sunday. We'll see if they're on the field for those, but they were both taken off in a cart. In speaking to, I spoke to Will Shipley, spoke to Cooper, spoke to Sidney Brown. I couldn't really hear Keely Ringo. He's a low talker. Spoke to Tanner McKee, spoke to Nick Sirianni. And yeah, I think there was, I think the group was kind of pleased overall with how they played tonight.
Are you going to be writing anything off this game?
I'll probably write in the morning at this juncture. But yeah, I'll just do some quick takeaways for allphly.com.
Become a diehard.
Become a diehard, please.
Now's a good chance.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the super chats. Thanks to everybody for pitching in tonight. Very nice. Very nice to see. Okay.
Wow.
Arthur Bo Wolf Smith. ZB, I love you. Please don't leave. I can change.
Is that you saying you can change? The PHLY is an amazing. No. I said last night, and I mean PHLY is an amazing place. It's dear to my heart. I would. I'm not gonna be staying, but I love this place and I love this show. Next up, okay, Max Legroom. Thanks for staying up late so all the international sickos can say sayonara live to ZB. And I don't know what currency that is. I apologize. Do you know?
I don't know. It looks like yen.
Is that right? Okay.
I don't know.
Well, look, I got to say, all the notes, many of them from international viewers and listeners, mean so much.
I forwarded you all these emails today when we were before the game, and I told you not to read them tonight, and I heard that you were reading them at halftime. Yeah, I was reading a few of them at halftime, but I got a bunch via Instagram and Twitter, and please, if you want to reach out, I'll get back to every one of you. But I'm so touched, truly. Jay Chime says, Zach. Thank you. Nicholas Graham, ZB, can we get a fish update? You gotta watch the show. You gotta catch up. He gave the fish update. Yeah, that was overtime on Tuesday, I believe. Overtime on Tuesday. There you go. Daniel Russell with a Zach. Thank you, Daniel. R. Verma with a heart. Alec Williams coming in with a monster 100 bangers. Wow. Love you, ZB. I'm sure you'll crush it at your next venture. Thank you so much. First off, the contribution means a lot, and the sentiment means a lot. And I hope it goes well. You'll have to let me know because I'm certainly not going to be reading. Well, I hope you will follow me where I go next. And I got to say, I will be PHLY's biggest cheerleader. I hope that my friends at PHLY will be a cheerleader of me as well. One last football thing. Yeah. Johnny Wilson made a couple nice plays. Yeah. I think it mattered less than the Darius Cooper stuff. Like, it's nice to see the proof of concept that he went up and got those balls. I don't know that Jalen Hurts is going to throw him those balls. Mm-hmm. But if you're thinking of leaning towards wanting to keep him because of the blocking and that's the stuff that Nick likes, you saw enough little offensive upside, but you also saw him drop some balls that are more like the stuff we've seen in practice. But it was good. It was a good night for Johnny Wilson. Although, you're right, and you said Jalen Hurts wouldn't have thrown those balls, and I agree with you. And I think a good show concept in the future, I'll be watching, and listening, and reading is that what can Jalen learn from Tanner McKee? Like, can Jalen throw more of these 50-50 balls? I mean, that once you've brought it up, we're not going to do it. You've worked with me for 6 years.
Yeah, but you can grow too, right? Like you don't have to be so set in your ways. You can, we can all, a life is about growing and learning and yeah. So yeah, if you're standing still, you're falling behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know better than that. Okay. All right. Well, this was supposed to be a 15-minute show, so we should get going here. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Zach?
I mean, you'll see it in the Ospreys tomorrow. But yeah, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you. Thank everybody, but really the audience, the sense of community. It has been reinforced to me more than anything else is like the power of these shows, the podcasting, the community that it creates. And I'm very grateful for this community. And I am a part of this community. When we switched shows in the past, Bo's last words, I think, were, "I'm a sicko," right? Too. I think that's what you said from the New England game, after the New England game. And like, I am a sicko. I am in the sicko Discord. I'm in the PHLY Eagles Discord. I am a diehard.
Zach, I cannot believe on the last episode you finally got naked.
Why do you always go? So
that's amazing. You finally delivered on the nudity.
You talk about this HZ thing, whereas I never bring up anything that has anything to do with sexual innuendo, and you literally, people, I don't want to spoil it. Watch the Ospreys tomorrow and wonder. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is overcome with emotion. I like that line, but
they're censoring the nudity is what happened. Yeah. Okay. All right, Zach. I love you. That'll do it for the PHLY Eagles podcast from Lincoln Financial Field. We will be back with some content to have you covered for the practices this weekend, but do not miss the Ospreys tomorrow at 2:00. And then we'll be back on Monday with our regular 2:00 show. Might be some different personnel. So enjoy it. And as always,
we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.